everybody. Welcome to another live stream for Card Making with SVGs Plus. You'd think since it's my summit I could say it, but no, not so much. So here's my wonderful celebrity crafting panel today. We're going to be talking about card making tools, beginner card making tools, tips, and tricks. So fun. If you don't know me, I am Elena Anderson. I'm with Chief 303 Creative. I am the host for the Card Making with SVGs Plus Summit. It is a free event going on now through Saturday, October 4th, 2025. We have 6 different card projects available each day for free viewing, but you do have to register for the summit right here, if you're not already registered, to get access to those projects. And then they change every 24 hours. So pretty fun. And we're teaching you new techniques to use with your Cricut, Silhouette, Scan and Cut, Caesar, all those good machines. They can be things from, print and cut and using HTTV on your cards to using more traditional card making supplies like inks and dies and embossing folders and that kind of thing. So let's get to my celebrity guests so they can introduce themselves. Kelly's messing with her camera. Katherine, why don't you tell us about yourself?
All right. So I'm Katherine from Katherine Learns Stuff. I'm happy to be here again today. These panels are so much fun. Hopefully you've seen me before, but if you haven't on the panels, I'm at katherinelearnstuff.com. So you can check me out there. I do all sorts of crafting. I do paper crafts, flowers, sort of everything. I do vinyl, I do upcycling, woodworking, sewing. Like if it's a craft, I do it. Not all of them work out, not all of them make it onto the site, but I try them all. And I do a lot of paper and cardstock crafts. And for this project, my project goes live today, just to, if you haven't seen it, this is my Foxes in a Winter Wonderland. And it's like a cute little tunnel card. This is not the prototype that I pulled out the other day. This is like one of the final ones. So you can make that. It's got like, cute little foxes. And then I give you a pretty cool freebie, I think, of different tunnel card things inside. So you could do that as well. So be sure to watch me today on the summit. But yeah, I kind of do all the stuff. I do all the crafts, and it's fun to be here to talk crafting with you guys.
Chelly, tell us about yourself and unmute yourself.
Chelly, you're still on mute.
Sorry. Wow. All right. Well, hey everyone. If we haven't met yet, my name is Chelly with We Can Make That, and I have a blog, a website for SVGs, and we're actually having an SVG club sale right now if you make it over there. And then I help crafters and creatives with their business. So if you're selling cards or selling things that you make, we have a group for you guys over there. And we do I do a lot of cards over there. We also have a lot of fun graphic tee things, different things that you can cut, obviously, with your cutting machine, but lots of fun home decor projects too. Yeah.
Yay. Kelly. And Kelly is a surprise guest at today's conversation. So tell us about yourself, Kelly.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I had such FOMO on this topic, so I kind of just messaged Elena. I was like, "Can I please join?" And she was like, "Yes." I was like, "Yay!" Okay, anyway. So hi everybody. My name is Kelly Rousseau. I'm in Cape Town in South Africa. This was my project, so I like to use print and cut, and I used iron-on foil on this card. It's unfortunately no longer live. It was live on day 1 and then kind of spilled over onto day 2 as well. But yeah, you'll only be able to get this if you have the VIP pass. So check that out as well, because then you have like all of the awesome projects. But I love using print and cut with my projects and sharing with people how to use print and cut, because I know that it can be like a super intimidating thing to do. There's lots of extra tricks and tips and things like that you need to learn, but I like to kind of demystify it for people and encourage people to use it, because it's such a fun thing to use, especially when it comes to like making unique that was the right way around. When it comes to making unique cards, print and cut really helps it like stand out, and it's an easy way to add fun graphics and do a fun card really quickly. So that's kind of one of my favorite things to do, and excited to be here today, so thank you for having me.
We're thrilled you're here. No problem at all.
Yay.
And Aaron's in the background somewhere. Okay, guys, so we're here to talk about beginner card making tools, tips, and tricks. So what is Kelly? I'm gonna go back the other way. What's your favorite tip, trick, or tool for beginner card makers? Can be, Cricut, silhouette machine related, or it could be more like traditional card making.
It's a good question. So for me, I kind of like just making things in bulk and having fun and playing, because that's kind of why I have this box of tricks behind me, because sometimes I'll be in the mood to play with my inks and things like that. And then I will take out my Tim Holtz glass mat and I'll, play around with my oxide inks, and I'll just have fun, just play with colors, combine colors, just create something, in the moment that is fun, that speaks to you, a color palette. Like if you know that it's Christmas, just enjoy the process and have fun, because then when it comes to putting the cards together, you have like lots of different things to choose from. I mean, there's, these ones I used embossing folders, and I was just having fun with a color palette. So it's like this nice gray kind of brick. And then I used the same embossing folder on a different color and used orange with some red and some black. So they give like very different looks and feels to it, but I was just having fun with color. And now when it comes time to when I need to make a card, I've already got a bunch of elements that I can use that are already dry, that don't have to then, be created in the moment, because they're already ready. So I have an arsenal of things to use.
I bet that makes, if you need a quick card, like a really fast card, that makes that easy.
Exactly. And because you're playing with like colors and things like that all at the same time, I feel like you tend to experiment with a few more things and you learn a little bit better, because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, like 5 times in a row, playing with the colors. So when you're starting out, it's all about experimenting. And when you experiment several times in the same kind of crafting session, you get to reinforce that behavior or technique that you're playing around with. So I find it quite useful.
Yeah, that's cool. I wish I could do that. I can't. I'm too like, oh, what am I working on right now? Okay, I got to finish that one. And then I got to go to the next thing,
I like that idea, though. I might try that, really.
Yeah, it is a good idea. So, what's your tip, trick, or hack, or whatever we're talking
All right.
about?
Yeah. I kept trying to narrow down one, but I think I have one. And I have to look at you guys like this because I'm out at a sewing retreat today and I popped back home to do this. And I left my computer glasses there. So I kind of can't see you guys. So if I look like I'm doing this, it's because I'm looking through my bifocals. So anyway, I didn't want you guys to think I was weird for no reason. Now you know. But this is my trick. So if you have a cutting machine of any kind and you're kind of leery to get started, because we have been talking about on these couple of the other lives I was on, like it's intimidating. And like, how do you start? Where do you begin? This is one. And if you search beginner card on my website, you can find like details, but you probably don't need that. But just go in and do, this was an actual card base, that one of those pre-folded, but you could fold your own, and then measure in a half inch smaller. So you can have a 1/4 inch all the way around, and then cut a square. Like I did the one with the rounded corners, you can see, and then just throw 2 shapes on there. And then this is really good because you can use scraps. And I did the foam squares because let's face it, any card that you had foam squares just up levels it right away, right? So I did foam squares so that this was a little bit higher. And then I just put some scraps paper behind there and stamped hello on there. But it's such a basic card, and I don't know, it just, once you start to create, it's easier to keep creating. Like Kelly was just saying with her box of tricks right there, once you start doing it, it just starts inspiring other things. So this is a good one. And then I used the rhinestone thing that I have, and I put a couple of rhinestones. You can see right here, my camera's flipped. There's one on the flower there too, but it's super easy. You could also do it with stars and then do like graduation or retirement, congratulations. This works also with the hearts, works good for wedding cards. So, stars, birthdays. So there's lots of different ideas, but super simple. And I think they look kind of cute. So there's my trick or tip.
That's really cute.
I would think adorable.
That's really good for masculine cards too. Like if you have to make like a quick birthday card for a dude and you don't want it to be like
Yeah,
too
like put
pink
a couple
or something,
stars.
just put stars or whatever and like different colors and you're good to go.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's super easy. Catherine, what do you want to share with us?
All right, so I don't know. I feel like I'm out of my league here. All these fancy cards. So I'm like super. So I do cards, right? I do lots of cards. I've got like a whole bin of cards here that I have to like give out and stuff, right? I have lots of cards. I do lots of cards. But what I find is like this: my paper cutter, my ruler, and my scoring stylus. This is like 90% of my cards are made with these three things, and I don't think you need to have, okay, yeah, it's fantastic to have like the Cricut and the Silhouette and all these wonderful machines and dies and all this stuff. But to start out, I don't think you need it. I think really like this, your paper cutter, and honestly, that's enough. And like, obviously it's paper, right? But like, you don't need to have a fancy printer or a fancy machine. You can really make beautiful cards with like such simple tools that it's amazing. And so like, I started making cards a few years ago, and my first cards were like, they were, kind of wonky, but in comparison to like what you could do with it, it's amazing. And over time, like you practice with just the simple tools and you can make really amazing cards with really, really simple tools. So I don't want people to be scared that like, oh, I need to buy. Like, sure you can, but you don't need to. You can make really great cards with just simple tools and some nice paper. So those are my tools that I use like always for cards.
So true.
Very,
I love that.
Good. I'm going to kind of jump on that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think we also get caught up in a lot of like when it comes to like people that are sharing all the tools and things like that they have, we always get so caught up in, oh, I need that. But very often, like you're saying, when you go back to basics and just use the simple tools, those can have such a strong impact. I love that. Very, very clever.
Yeah. So building on that a little bit, so I'm going to show you my card for the summit, which is available on Saturday. Now this is sewing, so don't look at the middle. But all I did to like sort of, it's a very simple image on the front, so it could be anything. You could cut out a sweater. This could be paper. I just sewed it for the purpose of the summit, but I just adding a little, like a piece of glitter paper behind it to give it a border, and then like the striped paper just kind of jazzes it up just a little bit extra. So like, don't get too hung up on everything has to be a solid color. You can combine like your patterns with your like simple objects, kind of like Chelly's hearts have like a little pattern, and what Catherine's talking about. And then another thing sort of related to that is that you can use pretty inexpensive things to add pizzazz to like a card that you've cut out with your Cricut, like glitter glues, or which I used on this guy, which you can kind of see there, and like sequins and stuff, just here and there. And those are relatively inexpensive. You can get like, I got these gems like really cheap at Michael's, and you can just glue those on to your card just here and there to add a little bit of sparkle to just jazz it up a tiny bit. And you don't need much.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those things, like you often find them, like you're saying, at Michael's, but like the Dollar Tree. And I know that we have them in our, cheap kind of Dollar Tree type adjacent stores here in South Africa as well, because a lot of them are used for like kids crafts and school crafts and things like that. So you'll probably find them there as well for super, super inexpensive. And with those, I always find like less is more. More is great, but a lot of the time less is more.
More in the stash and then less on the project.
Right, there you go. In odd numbers, if you want to go with like, design.
Rule. The rule of threes. Yeah.
That does help.
Oh. Loretta wants to know, will any of us be recommending an affordable printer option?
Affordable is a difficult word in this specific question, because affordable in the short term is not affordable in the long term, and affordable in the long term is not necessarily affordable in the short term. So it depends on what you want to go for, because the affordable options to buy upfront are generally going to be your cartridge printers. They will range from $40 to maybe under $100 or so. And then the ink and those printers will last you not particularly long. I mean, you might get a few full color prints out of them, but the ink tank printers, which is kind of all of the craze at the moment, are going to be more expensive to buy up front. You're talking about $150 to $250 within that kind of price range ish. But I actually just topped up my ink yesterday. I bought my printer 2 years and 10 months ago. I've printed 1,250 pages from it, and I've only just bought new ink, and my ink cost me $10 to refill. So it cost me $150 to buy when I first bought it 2 years and 10 months ago. 1,250 pages later, $10. And I only refilled the black ink because the other colors are still relatively, there's like 30%, 40%, kind of 40% ish. So it's ridiculously economical on ink. So it just depends on which one you're going for.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you also want to look at the resolution, because you might find a really cheap printer, and then when it prints things out, you're like, well, that looks cheesy, so I don't really want to put it on a card.
For sure. And also, if you want to print borderless, this was something that I learned the hard way with my printer. If you want to print borderless pages, which a lot of us crafters do, you have to make sure that you look at the borderless resolution that they print as well. Because the printer that I print was like, yes, it prints borderless. Sure, it prints 4x7-inch borderless. Oh. How is that useful?
Well, they're only printing like 4x6 photos, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I was so annoyed. So, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, but still.
Right.
So I think that's some pretty good things to think about, Kelly. I just want to say, and I'm not in the States, so this doesn't affect me, and it might not affect Kelly, but I hear that in the US that there's some pretty good Black Friday sales coming up, as typically happens. So it might be good to like research what the ink costs are and what printer costs are beforehand, so that you could like maybe get a good deal on a printer for Black Friday. We here in Canada typically have printer sales before tax season.
Oh.
So, but those are some good things to think about, Kelly. I hadn't thought about it, but I bought mine. I've got an eco tank, and so I just refill I don't refill them because I haven't run out of ink yet. So
yeah.
No,
I'm going on a few years too.
I have a cartridge printer, and it, I don't have a problem with the cartridges because I buy the knockoff brands on Amazon, that are pretty inexpensive, and they work just as well. And mine, I don't know if I would call mine well, it's not that expensive. I mean, it was like $250, $300. I don't know, but it's specifically made for like crafting. So for printing high quality, like photos and images and that kind of stuff, like that's really important to me. So I specifically went for that, and I went for like the 6 color tanks because that gives you more like blends of colors and more colors that can be created versus like the 3 color printers, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, I think you also need to think about how are you going to use it. So if you're like a big print than cut person and you print stuff out all the time, or you are a scrapbooker and you print photos all the time, you want to make sure that you're getting a quality printer, for doing those tasks. My printer is a Canon Pixma TS9500. So it is not an eco tank.
Yeah. Erin, I shared a link in the chat of not the printer that I have, but like the kind of equivalent one that's on the market at the moment that most people use. It's the ET 2800. That's the eco tank version of that one. And the thing is, like, you also have to kind of look at Epson versus Canon, because the Canons have exceptional photo quality. Like, their quality and everything is just fantastic. So you just have to figure out what kind of qualities you're looking for in a printer. But also at the end of the day, I think this kind of comes back to the live stream that we had yesterday where we were speaking about the different machines. I think that we spend, I mean, I know I do when it comes to these kinds of, questions and decisions that we have to make. I spend hours like scrutinizing each tiny little thing. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, the big ticket things, like cartridge versus eco tank, you have to decide for yourself which one you want to go for and the upfront cost and whatnot. But when it comes to choosing between the Epson 2800 and the 2010 or whatever, like they're like, for me, the one non-negotiable was Wi-Fi. That was, I don't care about scanning. I don't care about anything else, but the Wi-Fi, because I don't have any USB slots left on my computer, none. So that's like prime real estate. So I have to have Wi-Fi on my printer.
Wi-Fi is good. I mean, I send things to my phone to print when I'm like, oh, I need to print this. Just click it and off it goes. Wi-Fi is a must.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your favorite non-crafty supply to use on cards? Who wants to take that one? I'll have to think about it.
I don't know.
I have a bunch of cards in front of me that I was giving out, but none of them have non-crafting supplies.
Does ribbon count as a or twine count as a non-crafty supply? Not really.
Right. Yeah, somebody talked about baker's twine. I like to use that too.
I use that too. But I will say, kind of related to that, is that if you should, like, to save some money, there are usually, like, foam tape is a good example. There's like the craft version of foam tape, and then there's like the regular everyday version of foam tape. And it's the exact same product, like 3M or Scotch or whatever it is. Like, they make one for crafting, and then they make one for just regular. And if you buy a crafting one, it's like 2 times as expensive or a couple dollars more than the just non-crafting one. So if you're looking at stuff that's like got double uses or versions, go with the non-crafting one. Yeah, because that's going to be less expensive.
Very true. Although I suppose if you're a scrapbooker, it may become a little bit difficult because you need to go for non-acid or acid-free things. So in that case, you would need to make sure that you're going for the acid-free things if you're using photos, because obviously that will leach into the photos and whatnot. That's the only caveat. Yeah.
If there's any difference on the foam tape, but I don't know.
I don't know. But right on that. Chelly actually mentioned the foam tape earlier, and I wanted to I don't know if it's a very widely used black foam tape.
Oh yeah.
I could use some black foam tape.
Foam tape is awesome.
I was like, my mind was blown. Sorry again?
You got such a big amount of it.
Yeah. And this is even after I've been using it for a while. So it's probably like, quite a bit further down. But it's just like when you're working with darker colors and things like that, you have the white foam tape that just like it just draws your eye to it. So that having just the black and the white, you can see which one I end up using the most. But it's just such a nice alternative just to have the black one.
That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that because I was doing some foam cards the other day, and the little white was like a small space to make, and I had like the super thin foam tape, and I got it curled, and then just the edge of it, you could see it. I'm like, oh, it looks so bad. It's like bright, burning your eyes out white. It's like, oh, black is a good idea. I like it. You're full of good ideas today, Kelly. Not the today.
It's in the evening. It's in the evening for me, so my brain.
Nice. See, by that time, I'm like,
yeah, I got nothing.
I can't think of anything anymore.
Yeah, where'd you get the big roll?
Yeah.
Well, it's difficult because I'm in South Africa, so I actually buy this directly from our supplier. So we have a supplier called so I just bought it directly from them because a lot of the craft shops, they cut it up into quarters here. I mean, I don't know if they do it in the US, but they'll take these rolls and they'll quarter them so that you only. But I don't like that because then the further down the roll you get, the pieces get smaller, and then I want to be able to cut my own size foam tape.
Yeah, there you go. There's the 45s, right? Isn't that what they call the records? Because that one looked like a record, Kelly. So,
Is that the size that you guys get in the US?
Well,
I've
this
never
is the
seen
only
them
size I've ever been able to get, but I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time looking for it, I'll be honest. And this was like because I remember this coming out a couple of years ago. It was kind of like a oh my god, black phone paper. Wow, that's cool. And so I got this. So it might be available in bigger sizes now, but like that's what I've got.
They're getting a better deal over there in South Africa than we are over here.
When I come visit, I'll bring a bunch. It's light, so it won't take up very much space. And in all honesty, it'll probably help me pad my luggage because
that's true.
then
bring
I'll
stuff
be
back.
taking stuff back.
That's funny. Cute.
Okay, what's our next tip or trick or tool?
I have a couple cards I could show if you want to.
Yeah,
If that's okay.
absolutely.
I dug out some of my stash. So this one I just made with scraps.
Oh, cute.
Super
Oh,
easy.
wow.
And just find your scraps that coordinate. Like find one and then find a color in it, found some green, and then the next one, and then just kind of keep layering it. This was an SVG, so I just printed it and then fussy cut around it, but you could print and cut, but Shelly hadn't done that yet, as we just had to admit the other day. These are the strips of the rhinestones, just super simple.
I
And then
love it.
this is one that's an SVG, and it's a bunny. So you and this actually cuts out the whole thing, cuts out the card, cuts out and then I just added this
Pom-pom.
but I actually cut them in half. Otherwise they're too big and then they kind of get messed up. And then these were from the Dollar Tree, and
So
I just painted them quick and then added a little piece of twine. But then you also and this was from
Twofer.
then you have the bunny from the inside. This is from a different card because I made like 6 of them one day. But again, mass producing, right? And then you've got this little bunny insert, and you could make like you could put the strings on the back of their ears or in the back of their heads. You can make like a banner out of them. So you can kind of keep going with them. What's the other one? I was going to show you guys. This was not really a card, but this one is like those wine glass things that you can put on your wine glasses for your reading table. But you can also, make sure you look at the other, SVGs or designs that you've bought, because you maybe could use the leaf and find a card and then turn it into theirs. So making sure that you're kind of looking through all of your stash that you have like in your craft room, but then look at your digital stash, because a lot of times we forget what SVGs that we already have, and maybe that will help, because then you can just use up your scraps again. I like to say that, but I usually just kind of full sheet.
I love that.
Those are
And
great
I also-
examples, though. Yeah, like simple, but just by using like pattern paper or like little bits of rhinestones, you're like really jazzing it up and making it look super cool. But it's really very simple and beginner friendly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Keep
Shelly, I
adding
also
to it.
got
Sorry.
I also got really distracted because I was looking at your necklace.
Oh.
The little pair of scissors.
It's just scissors.
oh, cute.
Oh,
And
I mean, how cute.
it's red scissors on there. And then it came with a pair of earrings that are glue. But
Oh.
so there's little dangling glue bottles. So, but I'm at that sewing retreat, so I'm like, I got to put my scissor necklace on
Sure.
I love it.
so I can sewing machine. Yeah.
Do we put full sheets of paper on our mats, or do you cut up your papers to fit on one mat when you cut?
It depends
If
on what
I
I cut.
cannot use a full sheet, I will, and I have a scrap that fits, I'll use that. It sort of depends on what it is that I'm cutting. How about everybody else?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to use scraps if I can. I don't always have the patience to go through my bin of scraps to find what I need. I know all you guys laughing at my bin of scrap paper. fine. I won't take it personally. It's all safe in that bin, okay? If it ever rains in my basement, that paper is safe.
That is true. That is very true.
But no, but I'll try to use scraps as much as I can, and even in my videos that I do for like these summits. I don't know if I did it on this one, but I will pull out like I'll do like the fancy. This is what you should have, but here I'm going to use this scrap paper because it's the color that I need, and this is how I craft, right? And we all have scraps, so if I can use scraps, I will. And I'll even like be a little bit off shade just to use that scrap piece of paper instead of using like a full sheet. That's the perfect color that I want. So I will use scraps a lot.
Yeah. I love my scraps. I'd like. I didn't see your scrap bin though. I'm a huge scrap bin. I love
scrap bin.
You didn't see my scrap bin? Oh well. This is my scrap bin.
Oh.
Nice and organized. Everything is in here. And funny enough, yesterday I did a live session and I needed to pull out my scrap bin and I needed brown paper, and brown paper was on top for the win. So it was like organized. But in here I've got like every single shape and size and color. And recently I've started to like, this is a bad example, but I actually like trim them so that there's like a usable piece, so that it's not like some random, like, what am I going to do with this, right? Like, this should really be cut into a square. So I tried to keep them, like, organized into actual usable shapes and sizes, as opposed to, like, you know, do I really need, let me just show you a good piece here that I don't need. No, I don't have one. I've been emptying this out a lot. So, but I've got these, like, you know, do I need a piece this small? I do, because it's kind of like a cool design, right? You never know when I'm going to do that. So there you go. That's my bin. That's my bin of paper. It's like, but it's perfect right under my feet here, and I can always grab it.
I love that. All I want to do is organize that scrap bin of paper. That's like,
well, when you come to Canada, you are more than welcome to come and organize my scrap bin for me.
yes, I love
I
it.
have mine
Makes me so
organized
happy.
by color. Yeah.
Tina wants to know, what size of scraps do you guys save?
Yes.
Like what size? What's the
Yes.
smallest piece you would say? Oh, just anything. Okay.
Pretty
If
much
I'm
everything.
if it's smaller than a quarter of a piece of paper, like an 8.5 by 11, I probably don't save it.
I
Can't
try
say
to
it for
go
sure.
2 by 3 is probably the smallest that I'm gonna like save. I have saved like 2 by 2 squares because like if it's a perfect square, like you could use it for something. Like even
That's
like,
true.
you know, right? Like even like a 1 by 1 square for something, whatever, like you're cutting it out like in Chelly's cards, those little hearts, right? Like you can reuse that for something.
Yeah, or stamps. Like if you've got a little stamp and you want to fussy cut something out. So yeah, I think it's probably ½ inch, or no, probably about an inch or bigger. I usually keep them, but I have mine all organized in 12 by 12 Ziplocs, and then I have them organized by color.
And if you really don't want to save the small pieces, just cut them, get a little punch, a circle punch,
Good idea.
and just punch circles and then put those aside. I mean, I saw Kathy saying she hasn't been saving scraps. She said, is that necessary? No, absolutely not. It's not necessary. But it just depends on if you want to be more economical with your paper use. You know, you would still be able to do things with that paper. But if you're not somebody that, I mean, I'm a little bit of a hoarder. There are signs. There are signs everywhere in the background. I hate throwing things away.
Are you like slightly hoardery like everybody? I don't know.
Exactly.
Part of the job
Exactly.
description.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I have like little bags filled with, I was speaking yesterday when I made the Brandy's Joy card. It has the little glitter part and it has the little stars in the hat. Yeah. I saved all of those little stars in the circles. What am I going to use them for? Not a clue. But I saved them because I might be able to. So, I mean, that is technically a scrap, and I saved that.
Right. I like Loretta says you're a collector.
Oh, there you go. That's
I'm doing
it.
advanced collecting.
Right.
Yeah.
I
get angry sometimes at my scraps though, because like I'll make a big mess here on my desk when I'm working, right? And then I'm like, I just gotta clean up, and I have like, you know, little hearts and I'm just like, no, that's it, everything's in the garbage. And I throw it all in the garbage. Then I'm like looking at my garbage can that's overflowing with paper. I'm like, do I need to go back in there and like get some of that scrap paper out? But no, it's sometimes it's gotta go. But I like to save as much as I can. We can always reuse it. Yeah. One day.
And
I
like
just run out of
the number
space.
of times that I've been looking for a piece of paper in a specific color, like Catherine was saying, you know, I mean, even if it's like just a slightly different shade, I'll still use it. But the number of times that I've been looking for a specific size in a specific shade, and I've had that exact piece of paper that's perfect fit for the project. So now I don't have to, now I can use something that I would otherwise have thrown away. So I'm saving, in my opinion, that's girl math or crafter math. I'm saving money. You know, that's a free project if I managed to cut it out of a piece of scrap that I would have otherwise thrown away.
If it's like a cool pattern, I'll definitely save it.
Mm.
And I save like probably smaller pieces of glitter cardstock and like foil cardstock, the ones that are pricier than I would otherwise. I just have to like I have to get out of the hoarder mindset, or the collector mindset, because my it's, you know, it's
Can we change our
to do it.
Elena, can we change our descriptions in the summit from like crafter, you know, maker, and then add collector at the end of it?
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda says she feels normal in this group.
You are among friends.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
That's
yeah,
so
no
so
judgment.
collecting scraps is not necessary.
I think
You do you is what I'm saying.
that's funny. Polly said way too much time buying and not enough time making. I kind of think that the shopping part is part of that.
It is.
It's like one of the processes, right? It's part of it. It's
I
fun.
think that's so
I also
common.
think organizing it is fun, but
I do too.
not that you can tell from my office all the time.
Your office always looks neat as a pin. Mine always looks like, you know, a tornado ran through.
It's like one of those Zoom calls where he shows up and he's got pajamas on the bottom and a suit on the top. Because if you could see outside of the camera angle, you probably wouldn't be as surprised.
It's all about the camera angle.
Yeah, like you should see my desk right now. It's kind of funny.
Where do you get small punches?
Amazon?
Amazon, that's where you get everything, right?
I mean,
Scrapbook.com?
really stores that carry punches in it. I mean, like Michael's. And you don't really have scrapbooking stores anymore, at least not around here.
Well,
Right.
scrapbook.com would have a lot of those kinds of things
Oh,
because
yeah,
their punches are very big with scrapbooking.
Yes. Very true.
I find that a lot of people, at least where I am, there's a lot of things that get repurposed on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm always seeing people like getting rid of stashes of stamps and punches and papers, and always like some of them aren't a great deal, some of them are a good deal, but like I find that just looking there for like especially local and like getting a good deal, you can find some pretty decent stuff there.
Definitely.
I got a whole set of I'm never going to use them probably, but I got a whole set of stamps, and it's every letter of the alphabet. It's like 37 different shapes. I've used the one that's like a puzzle piece, and my daughter found it, and so she went through all of my good paper, not my scrap paper, of course, and she just made like a puzzle piece in every single page, and I was like, right, I can still use it, but yeah, so like you can get really good stuff on on Marketplace as well instead of just buying from Amazon.
Yeah,
we have consignment, like a couple of consignment stores in Denver that are like craft specific, so that's kind of cool.
That might be there.
Oh, Mamie has lots of punches in her store. Okay, so Mamie, I can't remember Mamie's whole store name.
Mamie made it?
Mamie makes it, or Mamie
made it.
Mamie made it. That's it.
Yeah.
Chelly, there's also a question for you. Not you specifically, it's not directed at you, but I know that you have something behind you on your right shoulder. I'm trying to think of left, right.
It just moved. It was in the way I was making sure.
Is that what we're talking about?
The hardest part of starting a card is picking out the paper. This is Lisa's question. Picking out the paper to use. Any ideas how to get around this? There's those two little boxes.
Yeah. So these color cubes, we talked about them yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't know. This week is kind of all jumbled together, right? But there's all these different cards in here, and then they have a color palette on it, and then like suggestions. And then if you're like, well, I don't have that exact green, but if you flip it over, there's a variety of different options.
Kelly green.
There you go. Let's see, I picked it out on purpose. So, and there's hundreds of them in here. I mean, like here's a cute little Christmas one. And then actually a little bit colored more than my camera is showing, but then you pivot it over and then turn it over and you can find the other options on there. So, and that way you can go through and you can say, okay, I have this color, but what do I put with it? And then it gives you some options. And then if you don't like that one, you just get to draw another card. So these are the first 2 sets, but we were talking yesterday that she's coming out with another one. So I don't know if that one is live yet.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, those are called the Color Cubes by
Color
Sarah
Cubes.
Renee Clark.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
really cute. I just think they're fun to look at. They just kind of give you some inspiration when you're feeling a little bit stuck.
I think it's also nice because it shows you kind of what contrasting colors you can use together, because you obviously, when it comes to making cards and things like that, you want certain things to stand out, and you don't always just want to use black or white. So to use like the pink with the green or whatever those were showing you, it's nice because then I also don't have that kind of imagination. So that's why that's my reasoning as to why I want them. Will I ever use them? Probably not, but I just want them. They also just look so cool.
Look at that. And it gives you the hex code too for print and cut.
Ooh.
Yes.
You need them, Kelly. I think it's like there's the sign that you have to buy those now.
Yeah, now
I mean, it's also business expense.
Say that again,
Sorry,
Catherine.
Oh no, I just said Kelly's all about print and cut, so she needs it.
Yeah.
That's
Use
it.
those hex codes.
Sign from above. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, my word, Becky.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. We can all feel that to our core.
Becky, I know I have paper, I think, that is from like the 1990s over in my 12 by 12 cardstock when I was like, I'm going to be a major scrapbooker. I'm going to do all this stuff. And I never did. But I just can't do anything with it because I love it so much. And now it's discontinued.
Yeah. Or the worst part is like when you see a kind of paper that you really like, so you buy like 3 or 4 of them so that I can keep one and use 3. But then when I need to use the one, I don't want to use it. So now I have 4 pages that I don't want to use instead of just one.
I know. Well, then if I just buy one, then if I want to use it like in a scrapbook and I ended up wanting to do 2 pages or do one for each kid, then it's, yeah. So then I got to buy 4 for that reason too.
Right.
Yeah.
we've got some really big problems here, ladies.
Oh, yeah, boy. Life is tough.
Or dilemma. I do have one more tip if we want to keep going here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find my example. Oh, she put me on the spotlight before I was ready, but that's fine. So no, it's good. Here it is. Okay, this is one that I did with another crafter. It was her design, and she had these words that were just printed out, and all you do is print them out and then cut them. So you can cut it like, this one's in a tag, this one's fussy cut, this one I just colored, cut it out and then backed it. But this yellow behind there, I'll see if my camera can focus. That is super easy. So if you don't have paper that matches, then you can grab some ink if you have ink, and then you can use like the blending brushes or the daubers, or you can even just take your card edge and kind of brush it along the ink, and then gives it a little bit more dimension, which I think kind of always up levels your cards. So adding a color with inking, this one I added just some green on the bottom, and then I did some blue. But that shows a little bit more. Just kind of add, again, some definition to it. This one I didn't do that to, and I think I should have. It had a saying that popped off, but I didn't use the right kind of glue. But yeah, so then my other tip is to do some blending brushes, but you can also go get the Kelly said if you would have did the print and cut, it would have been easier. But I don't like to do things easier. I like to do them the hard way. Like Kelly and I were saying on here, like Kelly and I were saying, we like to do, there they are, the daubers. We like to do the fussy cutting. So I don't know. I guess I could. Sometimes I feel like I'm just always on my computer so much that I just want to go back to kindergarten and cut paper and glue things together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually Amazon is where I find the best place to find that.
Okay. There's your
Yeah,
answer.
for the larger projects. So that's with the Romeo, but I haven't done paper yet, but I have.
Right, yeah.
Or go to the teacher section and they've got the rolls, like they use for the bulletin boards. But then you also have to be careful because sometimes that stuff is like crappy paper. Is that the right word? It's just, and it's not calendared to be cut. When the paper is calendared, it's run through the rollers, makes it smooth or it makes it textured. And then now I'm going back to my printing.
Yeah, it's got to do with the grain, so it's not woven, it's laid or it's pressed.
Or pressed.
So handmade paper is pressed, so you can't really cut it that well because the fibers are all going in different directions. But your 12 by 12 cardstock on your cardstock shop cardstock will be woven so that it's easier to cut.
Yeah. So 12 by 12 card shop. That's another really good one.
Yeah.
For paper.
Have you guys
the bigger ones though?
Have you guys played around with the stamping foam?
I have not.
No.
Stamping foam. It's so much fun. It's literally like a foam so that you warm up with an embossing gun or a hairdryer or whatever.
Oh,
and then you press
yeah.
onto the texture and you create your own stamp with it. And then you just warm it up and then it goes back to blank again.
I have done it a few years ago.
Yeah, it's a nice beginner thing, especially because if you don't have a lot of stamps, you can create your own kind of stamps with textures and things like that. So you don't have to go out and buy like a million different stamps. It's a reusable, resettable stamp, and you can do it on both sides, and you can use the edges. And you get all different sizes. This one was 4 little stamps in a packet. That you can use, and I'll share the link as well. Then so like specifically for beginners, because you can just kind of create textures out of everything. I did it I had a crocheted beanie, and I took the stamping foam and warmed it up, pressed down on that, and it creates the most unique textures. It's super cool to play around with and kind of find you're looking at textures all differently after you get the stamping foam.
Yeah, that's fun. Somebody said to use it with your stencils.
Yes.
Well, that's a good idea too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not all that expensive either. It's pretty, and it's like I said, it's reusable, so it's not something that you're gonna create a one stamp out of, and I love it. It's great.
That's awesome. I've never heard of it.
All of them.
Pink. Pink and blue.
Yeah, I always have fuchsia. Fuchsia, that's just my go-to.
Yeah.
Glitter and holographic, always. Sparkly,
Green.
sparkly, shiny.
Oh yeah, green, purple.
I do a lot of yellow for accents.
Oh, that's cool. I don't. I should. Yeah, I went through a whole purple and yellow phase where I did like everything with purple and maybe complementary colors. It's my favorite combo.
Yeah, and then there's me with all the green. I mean, there's the magenta, but
black.
All the green parts.
Black.
I run out of black a lot. I use it for accents here and there for little embellishments or whatever, but I run out of black paper like it's going out of style.
Yeah.
I always have black and white. Those are I have to have those, but they're not colored.
Oh yes, craft paper.
Oh yeah. I don't use it as much as I think I thought I would. I have a lot.
I used to. I used to do my coffee cup card with a lot of craft paper.
Loretta's coming up with the hard questions. What ink colors would you choose if you could only have 5?
Black.
Yes.
Black, green, yellow, blue, pink.
Well, yeah, you should do red, yellow, blue.
Right,
those
do
are
the
primary
primaries
colors,
and
and then you can mix them together to get the other colors.
I just think that's rude, Loretta. Who has 5 ink pads? No.
Yeah.
Can we have 6? Because, like, I mean, when it came to the paste, the lunar paste, I could only choose 6, and those are the 6 that I chose.
That's good.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, metallic. That's
The
another
jewel
good one.
tones.
Mhm.
Oh, I love these.
Well, I think I use a lot of gray too for like shadowing,
Mhm.
like a medium gray color.
Mm.
That's funny.
That's true.
I like purple. I'm a purple person. I don't know. And tips on
Any
using ink
tips?
brushes and daubers.
Keep
I
separate
have-
daubers and separate ink brushes for your separate colors and your separate ink types. So I also heard for the oxide, the Ranger inks, the oxide versus the oxide inks
Regular.
versus the
Distress ink. Distress oxide.
distress ink. Thank you. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of the word. You have to have different ones, different brushes for those as well. So you essentially have 2 yellows, 2 oranges, 2. So I mean, like, I have mine obviously rainbow. Yeah. But not only do I have different sizes, but then I'll also use the different ones. I've got another set. You can't really see it; it's off camera. That are like my backup set. But then I'll use these ones only for my oxide. I mean, my distress inks, and then for my oxide inks, I'll use different blending brushes for those. But I like to have them in these 2 different sizes, just because they're, you can get them into different like effects and things like that. The one is more concentrated, the other one is a little bit,
Mhm.
you can
And
get
they're
a softer
so
blend with the bigger brush.
They're so soft. They're so fun to play with.
They're lovely. I love them.
Get a reusable. I don't know what these are called.
Teflon
I have a
sheet.
huge one that covers my desk.
Teflon
So
sheet.
it's like you just wipe it off. But it's really good for ink blending. So like you just put your, you put your cardstock down.
The glass mat. I like my glass mat.
Or yeah, you can do the glass mat too. But and then I blend from the sheet onto the edge of the cardstock to get a really nice effect very quickly. And it's cheaper than a glass mat. But glass mats are, you can do that too. You can even use like people were telling me the Dollar Tree like trivets that are glass. You can get those really inexpensively. So that's like a cheap glass mat, and it works just as fine.
I want to get one of the magnetic ones, but again, they don't have them in South Africa. So if I ever get one, I'm going to have to get it when I go to the US and pray that it doesn't break in my bag on the way back.
Yeah, you're carrying on.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. Because those are nice because you can stick the piece of paper down and you can, because when you're working with the blending brushes and the paper, I often like bend the paper because I'm not paying attention because I'm lazy. And then I end up bending the paper and I'm like, I want one of the magnetic ones. It looks so cool.
And some paper isn't great for blending on versus
true.
others.
Yeah, that's true. It just looks smudgy, or it just doesn't blend. Yeah, or it never dries, and then you get it everywhere.
Yeah, I think distress oxide. I mean, I've only used really oxides and inks, distress stuff, really mainly for blending, and the oxides are way easier to get like a smooth blend on than the inks are. But I'm usually not. When I do use it, especially now, like I'm not going for the smooth blend. I'm just highlighting the edges or whatever.
Yeah. Same. Give it some dimension.
Yeah.
So Corey asking, she said that she didn't know you can do that with the Teflon sheets. What about the silicone mats? You can do it with the silicone mats, but the silicone mats have a lot more grip. The Teflon mats, they glide a lot easier. So you just have a lot less resistance on the brush on the Teflon mat than you would on the silicone. The silicone is going to have a lot of grip, which is also nice because it grips the paper, but it's not as nice for the brush.
Yeah,
but you can still use it.
I feel like the pores in the silicone hold the ink a little bit more.
You are more likely to
like stain it.
That's the word. Thank you.
I can read your mind.
I love it. Love it.
So Loretta wants to know what paper works best for blending ink. Okay, I can take this. So I think Nina Solar White Classic Crest works really well for blending ink. It also works really well for Copic coloring or like alcohol ink coloring.
Which
and
one?
then Nina, so NENAH, Solar White Classic Crest is what it's called. They have it at 12 by 12 cardstock shop if anybody's looking for it. And it's a kind of commonly available. I also use Bristol Smooth, which is like a I don't know where it is right now, but it's like comes in a pad. It's usually like at Michael's, for example. It's like used for drawing a lot. Like it's like a tablet of paper, and I use that a lot for ink blending and Copic coloring too.
That makes sense.
Perfect.
Yes, Brenda. So that's because of the way that the distress inks and the distress oxides work. So the distress oxides are like a more I don't know, they're a whiter ink and more opaque, or is that the right word? Or are the inks anyway? The
They're
inks are
designed
more
to turn
translucent.
white when they hit
Yeah.
like they're like both distress inks are water reactive, but the oxide like the distress inks will just like spread, away from water, but like the oxides turn white when water
But
hits.
even before water, the oxides are more inky, so more whitey. Yeah, they're like that's why I always struggle. The word opaque, I don't know why, it always gets me. I never know whether it means that it can be see-through or it isn't see-through. My brain, it's like left and right. My brain just doesn't compute what left or right is. So that's just one of those words. But the inks, anyway.
Dye ink versus like the ink, distress inks are dye ink, which are translucent.
Yes.
I don't know what the oxides are. That's some kind of special formulation, but different.
Yeah, but they are very different ink types, so you should keep them separate. Sorry,
Now
Shelly?
I will confess, I only have one set of blender brushes, and I just clean them in between.
No.
Now it's horrible. They're a pain to clean. So if you can get two sets, just get two sets of brushes because they are just terrible to clean. But you can do it.
There we go. Debbie gave us the answer.
Yeah.
What?
Oxides are a hybrid pigment and dye. The pigment makes them more opaque. Yes. Yeah, like I know how they work. I just don't know how to get the words out to explain it.
Yeah.
Do any of you use pastel chalks for shading? Like oil pastels? Like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
She's got a little tray.
These are my chalk inks.
That kind of chalk. Okay. Yes, I've done that.
Yeah. I have the ones with the little circles. They look like watercolor paint.
Yeah.
I use those with the brushes or just like makeup brushes from the Dollar Tree work too.
I use those a lot on flowers.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Just the chalks. I don't know why.
Adding shadows and stuff like that.
Oh, she says no, chalk. Do you mean like chalk? Because those are chalk inks.
Well, there's
maybe they're different.
Maybe I can find mine.
I have not tried that, Lisa, but I wonder if it would work.
I would imagine that you would need a strong enough magnet under the bottom to be able to go through the printing and the glass, and then still the material that you're going to put on top of it. So, I mean, I would imagine it would work, but you would need a pretty strong magnet for underneath.
Yeah. Fun. Lots of ideas. Chalk.
And you rub it, and it's chalk. They're like circles of color, and you rub your little thing on it, and then you rub it onto the paper. But like chalk itself, like the color chalks, I would think.
I don't know if they would stay
that well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they would wipe off. You put the card in the envelope, and they take it out, and then it's blank.
Yeah,
it's maybe not that
good to other parts. I don't know.
Black.
What's your favorite, like of paper? Cardstock,
ink.
I'm assuming.
Ink.
Oh, ink.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I need to get new ones because I have all these close to my heart ones, and now they don't make them anymore. So I'll let you guys take that one.
oh, VersaFine. VersaFine is
Yeah,
what I
that's.
always use. Yeah. Nice.
I'm just my black one is somewhere else. I think it's up at the top.
Find it. You'll see it right over there.
It's probably out so that you can use it.
It probably is.
Do you use inks very much, Catherine?
I do not even own any ink, so I'm totally out of my zone here. I don't use inks. I don't know. I thought about it. I was at a summit a few weeks ago, and someone said, "What kind of inks do you use? Why don't you use them?" I thought, well, I've got so many supplies. I don't like buying more supplies, so then I have to use more supplies, and it's kind of like this cycle. And I don't know if I start it, then I'm going to get sucked into it. And I've got so many things I want to do and work through that I just.
And then you need a caddy for them, and then
I know, and then I need more, but I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm a little hesitant to buy a whole new art supply to add to my thousands of things I already have.
It all started with, I'm just going to get a Cricut, and then I'm going to get a paper, and then you take over the room, and you have a full-time job now.
I know. Yep. I have that problem, but I don't have inks in that problem yet.
Yeah. Time flies, yeah.
Don't you do you. Oh, we're at an hour. My goodness. That went really fast.
That did. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Okay. Well, so we're at an hour, guys. So hopefully you got some good ideas here. I don't know if we stayed with beginner so much, but we're, it all can apply to beginners. So,
Yeah. You start out a beginner, and then pretty soon you have a step.
Yeah.
And then you're a collector.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Okay, so I'm going to announce the winner. Okay, because I forgot in the 10 a.m. Crafty Chat to announce the winner of the daily VIP pass giveaway. I'm going to announce that right now. So if you guys want to hang around, you can. Or I know you're busy, ladies, so you can go on your merry way. It's up to you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you for
here,
having us.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Kelly's going to stick around. Oh, I know. Okay, so my winner was Felicia. And Felicia, your email is your name plus some initials, maybe? So I will be emailing you with the info that you're the winner. So if your name's Felicia, you'll get an email from me either today or tomorrow. So look out for that. So congratulations, Felicia. Yay! And we'll have another one tomorrow. And I swear I will remember at the 10 a.m. Crafty Chat tomorrow to announce it then. So thanks you guys for being here. It's always so fun. These live streams have been really fun. So I hope you're enjoying them as much as we are, because I think all of us are having a great time. So thanks so much, and go back to watching some more videos at the summit, and have a great day.